Hello everyone, today I'll show you a gameplay between David Janowski and Frank James Marshall. This game was played in the match Janowski versus Marshall in 1912. And in this stage, both Marshall and Janowski were renowned chess masters. And Marshall was famous for his game against Stefan Levitsky, the American Beauty, where he sacrificed his queen and allowed it to be captured in three different ways, which all lead to either checkmate or a winning endgame for black. And Janowski was also known for his aggressive and attacking chess. And without further ado, let's dive into the game. So Janowski played e4, as you have already seen, e5, knight to f3, knight to f6, the Petroff defense. According to the databases, Marshall's favorite reply to the king's pawn opening. Knight captures on e5, the main line, and d6. Knight back to f3, and knight captures on e4. Now, in this position, I will show you again a well-known trap. It is not advisable for black to capture the e4 pawn without shading them away the knight. For example, then white has an annoying queen to e2 move. If the knight moves back, f6 or d6 doesn't really matter, then knight c6 check wins the queen on the spot. And queen cannot block. If queen blocks, then knight captures on e7 still wins the queen. And if the knight captures on e4, queen e2, like also tried this and tried d6 now, then white can simply defend the knight with a pawn. And he's better, even though if you like this knight, he will be up pawn with a much more active position and open lines. So just let it that for you to know. So the main line, knight captures on e4 and d4, grabbing space in the center e5, solidifying the knight on e4 square, bishop to d3, both sides developing the bishop d6 and c4. Undermining the defender, the knight on e4. If pawn captures pawn, then bishop captures knight. So here is Frank James Marshall with bishop to b4 check. King to f1. Janowski could also have blocked with either of these pieces, the knight or the bishop to d2 or c3, sacrificing a pawn for rapid development and activity. However, he might have some future plan of pushing the h-pawn and opting for kingside attack, as it's quite obvious that Marshall will cancel kingside. So upon king to f1, Marshall did cancels kingside, and c captures on d5 by Janowski. Queen captures on d5, and you can see that the black pieces are very active here. The queen, the knight, the bishop, and soon this piece will come to the game and threaten the white king. However, it's still a roughly equal position, and Janowski played queen c2 with a double attack on the knight on e4 and on c7 pawn. Rook e8, Marshall defended, and here this will be pretty dangerous for Janowski to grab this c7 pawn. If queen captures on c7 pawn is played, then knight to c6 and black is completely winning. The threat is of course bishop to d6 winning the queen, and if one tries to exchange a couple of pieces first, for example bishop captures on e4, this loses immediately to queen c4 check, and bishop has to block. Sorry, bishop can also not block, but if king, for example, to g1, then queen captures on c1 check, knight has to block, and queen captures on e1 is checkmate. So after bishop block, then queen captures come, king g1, and again we have the same direction. Queen d1 check, knight block, and either rook or queen captures will result in checkmate. So Janowski didn't grab the c7 pawn, however he proceeded with development. Knight to c3, forcing a trade on c3 as there's now a double attack on the knight on e4, which has already been attacked twice, and the queen on d5. So if Marshall moves the queen, he loses a full piece. And so Marshall traded on c3, knight captures on c3, pawn captures on c3. It seems that White pretty much solved all this problem of the opening and managed to maintain a strong center with the c3 d4 structure. However, here Marshall unleashed an excellent combination that will grant him a better game and really pleases the eyes of the mortal viewers like us. He played queen captures on f3. And of course, when we see this move, the first question we wonder is what happens if the queen is captured. So, of course, the queen is immune to capture, but as a bishop to h3 check, king g1 and rook to g1, and bishop has a block on f1 and rook captures on f1 is checkmate. White's back rank is simply too vulnerable. So, after queen captures on f3, Mr. Janowski played pawn captures on b4. Well, not only opening up to c5, but queen to again attack the c7 pawn, which is a bit irrelevant right now as the numerous threat towards the white king. For example, here, if white tries something like queen pawn captures again is unavailable and out of the question as rook b1 will again result in checkmate. So Marshall simply continued his development with knight to c6. And again, if the pawn captures the queen on f3, we get the same variation. And Janowski defended against this back rank checkmating idea with bishop to b2. However, this is a blunder. And the reason this is a blunder is that the simplest move, bishop to h3, simply wins again on the spot, as it's put tremendous pressure on the g2 pawn. Obviously, if the bishop is captured, then queen captures rook, and black is lost in one. Sorry, white is lost in one move due to queen captures on h1 checkmate, and the queen of course cannot be captured as well as pinned. So rook b1 only move, but now knight captures on b4, and the bishop on d3 is attacked twice. The only move to save the bishop is probably bishop captures on h7, king h8, and so on. But white will simply down a piece in worse position. That's so passive, and black can win whenever he pleases. So, in this situation, after knight captures on b4 and bishop to b2, and knight captures on b4, then Janowski played bishop captures on h7, and in between removing the bishop out any potential threat, and Marshall simply sidestepping the check. King h8, of course not king to f8. This loses immediately to the line, queen c5 check, and the queen is immediately lost. And you can see the black king has nowhere to go, so rook has a block and can never reach the e1 square again. So the rook is pinned, so this knight will capture next. And the queen is now is lost. Bishop h3 check doesn't do anything as black doesn't have a powerful continuation to this line. And the knight is hanging. The c7 pawn is hanging. And white can play f4 and f3 and get the king into the game and get this h1 hook into the game as well. So after bishop to h7 with check, capturing a pawn, Marshall played king to h8. Again, offering his queen, and this time Janowski accepted. Pawn captures queen on f3, and bishop to h3 check first. Knight captures on c2 is also fine. Both moves lead to the same line. And king g1 first. The rook is extremely strong along the e5. You see, it can storm down all the way here. And now, simply knight captures queen with an attack on the rook, and the bishop is still hanging. So the only move to save both pieces is bishop captures on c2. But now Marshall stormed down with the rook. See that this rook is coming to e8, and this rook is having bubbles this bishop up, and the d5 can be used also. And Marshall's position is simply winning. So here Janowski tried to hang on to everything with the move rook to c1, defending his bishop. However, this proved to be the crucial mistake that cost the Janowski the game. Marshall simply doubled up his rook along the e5, rook a to e8, with the threat of rook to e1 checkmate. So bishop to c3, preventing that threat, but now rook captures on c2 is completely winning according to the engines, but it is not aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So here, Marshall stormed down with the second rook, rook to e3, again offering Janowski numerous options. None of them actually works. And here, should this rook be captured, then this rook will run g2 with check, and the king has to go under the mask of the bishop on h3. King f1 first, rook captures on c3 check, king e1 or g1 doesn't really matter. It all result in the same line. Rook captures with check, and rook captures on h1, and it seems that in the beginning of the line, black is down a rook and a bishop. In the end of the line, he's actually up a full rook and a pawn. Sorry, soon to be a pawn or two. So in this position, David Janowski simply moved his bishop out of danger and still keeping an eye on the e1 square, but Marshall played rook captures on the f3. And it seems that Janowski can actually attack both rooks with the move bishop to d1. However, Marshall simply played rook to f6 and rook to e6. Rook to g6 is in the middle as you see in the game. And it's exactly what Marshall played, rook f6, rook e6, sorry, rook g6 is inevitable, rook captures on a2, for example, going after pawns, and in this position the game is ended. And Janowski resigned. This masterpiece is created by Frank James Marshall. And thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe I will see you in the next couple of days.